I am still a child. Although I've recessed from recess and laid the paste and the crayons down. I spent the last 30 years playing hide and seek with the man that I never found. Searching the cubbies of my foster homes, forced alone, wondering where was he hiding. Other kids went and came, those who shared their last names always took them and left me residing. I am still a child. Though the walls of my heart grew tall, a ventricle was forever weak. And that part kept playing, Father May I, with the dad who would never speak. Without his GPS to navigate my teens, I made so many wrong turns and choices, just asking him questions about who I was that he answered in other men's voices, now finally his own. This voice I imagined so long, it is velvety, rich with patois that I thought would promise me gumdrops and trips to the circus and carousel rides to the stars. But now I'm grown and struggling alone left anger. We passed each other like strangers, impaired by the memories we never shared from even recognizing each other's faces. But then he turned and something within him churned as he realized who stood by my brother. He scanned my face, then recognition set in. They say I'm a dead stamp for my mother. Nobody could guess what would happen next. Nobody knew what I was facing. My heart was racing up and down with unusual fears of playing musical chairs with my patience. This wasn't about child support that I didn't receive. This was about each experience that caused me to be this puddle of spilled puzzle pieces. This is about riding a bike without you in my life, with my knees scraped trying for you. This is about that kid Jason who pressed his forearm across my chest when I got raped, crying for you. This is about every candle and every cake, every chance you would never take, every graduation and every year's awards, but every woman you would date and every trip out of state while somebody else fought to take care of yours. Like, what kind of father even does that? What dad? What kind of fatherly love is that? Huh, dad? Father, forgive us our trespasses, just as we must forgive those who trespass. And so I forgave, while I mentally traced his face, praying I wouldn't trace his mistakes. Then reached out my hands that spanned, wondering since the sandbox if a hug from this man would fit comfortably. He hugged me hard too, then he cried because he knew that he could never do enough to make it up to me. For the first time in my life, we had dinner that night, and beyond his persistent anxiety, I saw some traits that I drew, and the child in him too. And the manifold sins of society, he was still a child when his father left him at age 6 and has since kept his distance and still is gone. Both born to a culture obsessed with breeding with no thoughts of the needs of the children born. Made me wonder just what kind of mother I'd be. They say the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Well, that's enough bad apples for me. He drove me home. Love lift us up where we belong. Played as our talks fade to silence. We drove past the hotel I laid in at 16 that I would have never seen with his guidance. He gave me a hug, said sincerely he loved me and that on the next day he would visit. And with that hug, he told me who I was, what I meant to the world, and I listened. Because suddenly that cute guy I obsessed over, cried for, didn't seem worthy to touch me. And that poetry gig that I wasn't big enough for didn't seem worthy to judge me. And even hurricane showers 90 miles an hour didn't seem worthy to budge me. And each insult I received descended in the sea, completely consumed by its nothing. I am still a child. I still miscount books in spades. I'm a diamond reneging child. I'm a child that still hates cleaning up, don't like vegetables much. Only now I was a different child. I'm still a spending my last loot on Louboutin shoes, swearing I'm rich but poor child, but the never seen before child. It's Wednesday for the first time in 31 years, Daddy. I was your child.